Welcome to Not Ashamed. I'm your host, Ashley Nordman, and I'm back again today with my friend, Clayton Echard.
Yeah, in a nutshell, I had a woman claim she became pregnant with my twins. And
were you dating her?
No, it was a one-time.
Did you know her?
Yeah, we hooked up once. We did not. She performed oral. We didn't have intercourse. She claimed that when we were grinding on each other after the fact, that a little bit got up there.
Oh my God, she's reaching.
She reaches a lot. Yeah, she's.
Do you talk to her?
No, I blocked her. I have order of protection against her. Technically, it's called an injunction against harassment.
Wow.
But I'm victim number 4.
She's done this to multiple people? Mm-hmm. Can you go to jail for that?
She should, but she hasn't.
Oh my God.
She's committed multiple crimes, medical fraud. 10 doctors have come back that she claims she saw, and all of them have come back and said that they have no record of her. She's falsified ultrasounds. And
how did you meet this girl?
She reached out to me on LinkedIn.
So she premeditated this?
Yeah, we believe it was targeted. She reached out right when I got my license in real estate and said that she wanted to look for houses.
Oh my
and
God.
And I, committed the cardinal sin of mixing work with pleasure one night, not to make excuses.
We've all done it.
I think, again, I give myself grace now because a lot of people say, you shouldn't do that. I'm like, you've probably done it. You just don't have a spotlight on you.
Right.
And, that's my ego speaking right there, because there are some people that have never done that. They've never crossed that line. But I'm like, let's put a spotlight on you. And I guarantee you half the things you've done, I've never done. So don't act high and mighty, don't act high and mighty, because you're not. And neither am I. But that's I gotta let my ego talk every so often, because now I used to be very submissive, and I'd be like, yeah, no, I shouldn't have done this. And it's like, I shouldn't have done it, but I did do it. And quit acting like I killed somebody.
Well, yeah, and you're just getting all the scrutiny because you're a public figure. That's all. Yeah, if someone else did this, they would let it slide by. But because it's you, it's a huge deal.
It's like people acted like I had killed someone. Like, he hooked up with someone that he was working with. It's like, cry me a river. I'm sorry, but it was stupid.
Okay? You didn't hurt anybody, though.
I didn't hurt anybody.
Yeah.
And was it dumb? Absolutely. Will I do it again? No. But I've learned my lesson, okay? No better way to burn that in your memory than have a whole false cheating, I say cheating scandal. I had that too last year, but a pregnancy accusation. I'm like, no better way to burn that in your memory, not to cross that line again. But I gave myself grace because I was going through a bad stage of my life where I was using marijuana to cope with basically the fallout effect of coming off reality television and still not knowing who I was and seeking validation and having just broken up with my ex, and I was using, marijuana to cope, and I just. You
don't even have to explain yourself.
No, I'm just saying it because I know why I did what I did.
Yeah, looking back, it makes sense as to why.
And for the longest period of time, especially when I came off the show, I was trying to justify everything, and then people weren't. They weren't accepting what I was saying, and then I was like, well, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have did this, I shouldn't have did this, I shouldn't have did this, and I'm like, you know what? I'm at a point now where I have this self-love and self-confidence where I'm just like, I did do it, I did it, and it is what it is.
Yeah, owning up to it actually just deflates everything from everyone else too.
Right. I think the thing is you can be sorry, but you also don't have to be sorry for everything.
Yeah.
And as a people pleaser growing up, I started to just apologize for everything, even when I wasn't sorry. Same. I would just apologize because I'm like, I don't want you to be mad at me. Yeah. And I'm at the point in my life now where I'm like, no, actually, I'm not sorry. I don't know why I said I was in the first place. Now, there's a lot of things I did that I am sorry for, but the reality is you can judge me for the fact that
because not everybody's gonna like you.
But that's me. Yeah. That's the way I'm hardwired.
Yeah.
And I made a bad decision, but does that mean that I should have had what had happened to me happen? Absolutely not.
No.
What this woman has done is nothing short of criminal, and she should be prosecuted. And I really hope and pray that she is on this June 10th hearing that we have coming up. Because if she's not, I'm going to have to raise my voice. I've been trying to stay quiet, and I've been trying to let the justice system do its job and prosecute this individual. The DA should jump on this case. This woman's been gaming the system for 10 years plus.
That is disgusting.
And that's just facts. I'm not
and she's just trying to ruin your name for nothing. You didn't do anything.
Again, I know.
What is her benefit? Just trying to get famous off of this or something?
No, she just
money.
No, not money. She's got money, and that's how she's been able to burn other guys in court.
Because she can pay for it. Because
she just bleeds them out financially.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I had a audience that raised money for me.
Really?
For her GoFundMe to keep me alive in this fight. And
this is insane.
Yeah, so I've been able to stay afloat because I have people kind of footing the bill.
Yeah.
Because I just bought a house. I was cash poor. And when this hit, I was like, I dumped all my savings into that house. And I couldn't hire representation. I didn't have the money for it. They're expensive. It cost me $5,000 for 1 week.
Right. Lawsuits are so expensive. I've been in 3, so I know how they work. It's a lot.
$600 an hour for a lawyer. It's not cheap.
No.
And so that's why people, again, why did he self-represent in court? I was like, because I didn't have the money for it. And I also thought I was like, I'm innocent. Why do I need a lawyer? I'll show up and say, hey, prove it that you're pregnant, because you can't prove it. You never have.
Is she pregnant? Was she?
She never was.
Are you serious?
She never was pregnant. She'll claim she is still because she's caught in a lie, but she's not pregnant.
I felt like I was looking this up and there was something that said that she actually was pregnant.
That's the problem, is that the media jumped on it.
It's all back and forth, yeah.
The media jumped on it right out the gate, because what's juicier than the former bachelor getting some woman pregnant being a deadbeat dad?
Exactly.
Right? And that's the way she framed it. She framed it so she'd be the victim. And she tried to turn it on me, and she did it right as I started this reality pickleball TV show. I was hosting it, my very first hosting gig. And she knew that I was going to do my first day of filming that day, so she dropped it. I had to go pull the film crew aside, and the producers, and the owner of the pickleball show, and I was like, I have to talk to you all. She did it on purpose to rattle me, to try to get me so I couldn't do my job of hosting. She's sick. She's sick.
She is sick. She premeditates this stuff. She plans it out.
And thankfully, again,
oh my gosh.
Thankfully, they go, okay, give us 5 minutes. We have to talk, alone.
Yeah.
So I stepped out of the room. I'm like, I'm probably gonna get fired right here. For that. I won't. This is like, there goes the hosting thing.
Right.
And they brought me back in and they said, be honest with us. Like, is this all a lie? I said, it's all a lie. I swear to you. And they said, okay. Then we're gonna stand by you.
Wow.
And it was awesome because they did. They stood by me right when it hit. That's what they were incredible for that. They just met me. They literally just met me.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of it was, these were, men that were, Christian men. They really leaned on their faith, and for what it was, I think they just left it up to, God, and they said, we trust you, we believe everything happens for a reason. We believe you. We see it in you, and it was awesome because I just met them. I had maybe 5 conversations. But thankfully they stuck by me. But with that being said, I was filming the show, hosting, and then every time I was off camera, I was going right back into the locker room, and I unsilenced my phone, and I turned it off, do not disturb, and I just saw a wall of just people. He's a piece of shit. This is exactly the guy that we knew he was on TV. He sucks. Because at first she was winning the narrative.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, she came out and anonymously and said, he won't take a paternity test, which is a complete lie. I'd been trying to get her to do a paternity test for months.
Yeah.
And then she wouldn't do it unless I dated her. That was her whole stipulation. She's like, you have to date me, otherwise I'm going to have this kid.
Oh my gosh.
I said, that's ridiculous. I'm not dating you. Yeah. Don't make a decision whether or not you have a kid because I'm not going to date you. You want to have a kid, that's fine. I was like, go ahead, have the kid. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your own body. It's your body, your choice. But I'm not going to date you, so don't try to... this should not be the reason why you have a kid or don't have a kid. Yes. You're going to bring a kid into the world that basically you don't really want, but you're just going to have them because I'm not going to date you, so you're going to make a point out of it. It was twisted.
Yes.
And so, yeah, but then she came out public with it, and biggest mistake for her.
What do you mean came out public with it?
I kind of laugh about it because she thought that coming out public with it was going to destroy my reputation, and all it did was it exposed her. Yeah. And so I had people reaching out to me within 5 hours being like, hey, look up this court case. You're not the only one.
Oh my gosh.
So then I found out.
So now you got all these detectives on Instagram helping you figure this out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So people started going crazy with it. And she was engaging on Reddit, this forum with them directly, and she was releasing her medical records. All she ever had was a positive HCG test, which you can manipulate, which she did.
Yeah.
I know she did. She never could prove anything else, but she was manipulating her HCG with shots or some type of medication.
Totally.
And then she put up her ultrasound video on a Dropbox file one day on Reddit. And they found it from a YouTube video from 6 years ago.
You can find any of that stuff. I was going to say, it's probably all copy and pasted pregnancy pictures and stuff.
She just ratted herself out. She posted it for everyone. Here's my ultrasound. And they found it and they sent it to me. And I was like, thanks. Because now here's the video. And it's the exact same video.
This is nuts.
And so she bit off more than she could chew. Previous guys that she went after, they weren't, reality TV stars are celebrities, and so she got away with it. But
did she play the pregnancy card or different things? I know you said...
Previous guy, she claimed she was pregnant with twins. Previous guy before that, she was just pregnant with one kid, and then previous guy before that, I think, was one kid as well.
I don't even get how you could try to make that up, because you have to have a baby. What does she do when 10 months go by and there's no babies?
Yeah, I don't want to I want to be respectful of the court system because I'm still in litigation. But I guess I'm not really under litigation, but I'm still in court.
Yeah.
But I really am grateful because I think the judge that I have finally actually is someone that's going to stand up and do something about it. I think she's seeing it for what it is, which is a load of shit.
Especially with her past.
Yeah, but I think previously the court system wouldn't. I think she realized that if I just am adamant that this is the truth, this is reality, they wouldn't believe me that I would lie to this degree. Mm-hmm. Actually, I had that happen in court. I went in to respond because she filed a parenting plan against me. So I had to basically, I had police show up and hand me, and serve me papers.
What's a parenting plan?
Who has the kids on what holidays?
That's what I thought. I have a parenting plan.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, hold on.
So
you don't even have...
she served it to me when there were no kids, no children.
Yeah,
the whole thing was made
that?
up. You can serve whatever you want to anybody.
True. You can sue people for anything,
too. You can sue people for anything. I could serve papers to you and say that after this, I'm not going to do this, but after this interview, I could say that, you made me talk about something and it hurt me. And now I'm having, bad thoughts and I'm going to sue you. I'm not going to. But I could. And I could serve you papers and you'd have to go to court. And I'd present my argument.
Yeah, waste your time and money over something dumb.
And that's exactly what she knows that she can do. So she filed a parenting plan. Once you serve papers, you got to respond. Otherwise, they submit a default judgment. Well, if I don't show up for court and they go, the guy didn't show up and papers were served, we're going to enforce it.
Yeah.
I had no choice. Because I didn't
parenting plan for no kid.
Yeah, and so they were going to enforce it, and then there was the financial terms in there as far as how much of my paycheck would have to be set aside, and it's like if I don't answer this, they're going to do a default judgment.
Yeah,
which means I'm going to have to start paying bills.
So she was basically trying to just get child support.
No, she was just trying to rattle me. She didn't want my money.
This whole thing
she doesn't
makes
want money.
No sense.
She's got money. Her family's rich. That's the other thing, too.
What kind of sick person does this and doesn't want money or something?
Someone that wants to be the victim.
Yes.
She doesn't have any, again, this is just the reality of it. She doesn't have any self-worth.
Is she attention seeking?
Yes, and she turns these situations around where she becomes the victim. Yes. And then she uses that to go speak on TED Talks and on a mental health podcast. She has a mental health podcast with her mother.
Is she does she have a lot of followers or something? And
no, but she just... her and her mom have a mental health podcast, and they use these stories to make it seem like she's went through these traumatic experiences when she's the one that caused the trauma.
We'll get back to the podcast in just a moment. This episode is sponsored by AN Skin, your answer for all things skincare and beauty. Our medical-grade products, made in the USA, use high-quality ingredients and are clinically proven to give you clear, healthy, youthful skin. Everything is cruelty-free. Visit anskinbeauty.com to shop now and regain your confidence. Now, back to the episode.
Have people exposed her for this stuff? This is so messed up.
Because she threatens to sue everybody.
So people are just afraid of her and let her do what she wants.
But I'm not anymore.
You're finally you're the one person who's going to finally stand up to her.
I'm standing up to her because I'm just I don't care. Go ahead. You've already brought me through enough. Try to sue me.
Yeah.
You will lose.
Yeah.
You're the one that defamed me.
Well,
you're the one that has all these. You've committed perjury. You've committed medical fraud. You've committed extortion. She told me if I didn't drop the case that she was going to sue me for $1 million+. So there's extortion.
She's threatening you.
Medical fraud. Yeah. Defamation. I have her on so many threats and crimes. Mm-hmm. And I'm hoping the goal is that the judge will basically rule that she made all of this up, is what we're hoping. Mm-hmm. And then she'll refer her to the DA, and the DA will prosecute her. That's what we want, because that's what should happen. She's been in the court system for the last 10 years. Just bringing up baseless claims, wasting people's taxpayers' money, wasting jurors' times, wasting the court system's time, abusing resources, calling the cops, calling the FBI, making these claims, and not having to pay a single not have to be a bit accountable. She hasn't had to be held accountable at all.
No consequences.
And so she threatens to sue people, so she gets to hide under this Jane Doe moniker. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't know if that's the right word. Is moniker the right word? Maybe. This alias. She gets to hide under this name, and so therefore, she doesn't get she's not held accountable. Her real name will not be said. It's not out there. It's hardly out there. No one said it. And everyone's waiting on me to say it, basically, because they're all afraid, well, if Clayton says it, then it's out there.
Can you say it?
I'm going to say it when the time's right.
Okay.
I'm going to say it. I'm going to hold her accountable.
So you know her real name and she goes by a fake name?
Yeah, her name's out there in the it's all in the court docs. You can find her name.
But that's not her real name, or that is her real name?
It is her real name.
Oh, okay.
She did try to change her name, but then people found that. She tried to change her name, and so they called her out on it, so she can't change it. She's under a microscope now.
Yeah. With
a small audience that has read it. We got to get this thing to blow up nationally, because the courts need to hold her accountable. And what I'm fearful of is that they're just going to slap her on the wrist and say, all right, don't do it again.
Well, and this has to stop, because you're just going to be one more victim, and then she's just going to keep going on and doing this to people.
If she gets away with it with me, she's not going to do it again to a celebrity next. She's going to go back to a normal guy. And that guy might kill himself, because I've talked to previous men, including myself, and we've had really dark thoughts going through this. And if this does not stop, someone's going to hurt themselves at her expense. She is not going to stop. She's already back on dating apps. She's on dating apps. She was on dating apps 2 months ago.
How do you see her? Do you see her on there?
My friends that live here are like, she's on the dating apps. She thinks she's invincible.
Really?
She's back on apps, and she's going to target another man. She's not stopping. Mm-hmm. She's not going to stop. She will not admit, even though she's been caught, her timeline's all off with everything. She is caught red-handed. Hand in the cookie jar. She is caught in so many a web of lies that she is guilty as all guilty can be. But I don't know. We're hoping the court, and again, the judge been awesome. I think she's caught on to it. I know she has. And now I'm just praying. I'm like, please just refer her to the DA. Please end this, because if she gets away with this, she's going to do it again to the guy that doesn't have a spotlight, and she's going to ruin him. And I don't want to see that happen, because I know how it feels, and I know how many days I've woken up where I've stared at the ceiling for hours and could not function, because all I could think about was my life's ruined. My life is ruined. This girl's going to destroy me. She won't just, I can't wait. Even early on when I thought, could it, maybe somehow she got, I knew, I was like, maybe she trapped me. Maybe she went in the bathroom and.
Yeah, these people make you question yourself.
And she was able to push, the stuff from the fluid in her mouth up there. I was like, maybe she did make it work. But I was like, man, I can't co-parent with this person.
No.
If she was normal and sane, I would do it. I just grow up, Clayton, time to man up and have a kid. But I was like, she's going to destroy me. She's going to destroy my mental health, because she is not sane, and I cannot co-parent with a person like this.
Right.
And I couldn't function. I could not function for the first month. And she was sending out messages to my family, friends, organizations that I was going to speak to.
So she was trying to get everybody to turn against you.
Yeah. I went to Miami to go visit my cousin, and she sent me, she tried to get a parenting plan sent to 2 women that were down in Miami. One that I talked to for a short period of time that moved to Miami.
So did she stalk you
She stalked everything. And then the other girl, she tried to, I never even met her, but I said on a podcast once that I thought she was cute. And so I guess she lived in Miami. I wasn't even aware of it. And she was from the show. And she tried to send a parenting plan to her.
This girl has so much time on her hands.
Yeah, way too much time.
What is she doing? What does she do with her life? Just sitting home and try to ruin yours?
Yeah, her parents fund her this habit of hers. She doesn't work. She's a podcaster, which she doesn't put on a new podcast 2 years. And then she claims she does horse sales, but I don't know. She sells them, her mom does, but her mom's her accomplice. Her mom's in on it.
What?
Yeah, her mom's in on it. I talked to her mom on the phone early on.
Okay, so what can we do to get this to stop?
People just need to share these stories and talk about it, and you can and make.
Do you share them on social media? What do we do?
I've shared my videos. I've come out and said early on when the parenting or the paternity test came back little to no fetal DNA.
Yeah.
I went on podcasts. I've tried to talk about it, and I'm like, people need to share this story. Share the articles that have been said. Share the podcast. We need to blow this thing up.
Well, we're going to, because this is disgusting.
Yeah, it is. But
I can't even fathom what you're going through right now.
The problem is right now is, and I'm calling it like it is. If the roles were reversed, I'd have been in jail already.
Absolutely.
So this is the problem, the dynamic that I've heard from others, not from my mouth. It's just the reality of it. I've been told that from people high up in the judicial system that the reason why this has not caught fire is because they are afraid that if she is prosecuted, it will stop future actual victims from coming forward and speaking up, because they'll be afraid that what happens if I don't present a good enough case, I will then get prosecuted.
No.
And so that is what I'm being told by people high up in the court system. They're like, the reason why is because of, it's the Me Too movement and believing women, and they don't want a reverse Me Too movement to happen if all of a sudden she's prosecuted and then men come out and start speaking up about this and saying, this happened to me or this happened to my friend, because I get a lot of DMs. I'm not saying it's common, but it's more common than people think.
It happens.
It happens a lot more than you think. I've had probably 20 people DM me and be like, this happened to my friend, this happened to my brother, this happened to... It happens a lot, and there's no accountability.
No.
But the fear is that if we start opening this up, it's going to cause men and the public to go, we shouldn't believe women. I don't want that. I don't want that. I just want the truth to be believed.
That's right.
This shouldn't be a matter of gender. This should be a matter of present the facts, and if you're lying, you're going to be held accountable. Mm-hmm. And what severity? I don't know. I mean, I kind of think if you're trying to ruin someone's life and destroy them, like, there should be a penalty and a heavy fine.
Yes, absolutely.
I can tell you, she's probably cost me $250,000.
I believe it.
Easily. The problem is like, can I? It's hard for me to quantify it because most people just didn't respond back to those emails whenever, hey, Clayton wants to come speak at your university.
Yeah.
They just Googled me. And I had a few people respond back and say, no, we saw what he's going through, the accusation, where we can't bring him in with
this is ruining opportunities for you. This is ruining, like, money on the table that you could be making for your future. Like, she's destroying you.
Yeah, but it's not even at this point about the money. I don't want the money. I want justice.
Absolutely.
I want her behind bars. Mm-hmm. Because she won't stop otherwise.
No.
Her family won't 51, I think they call them a 5150. Her mom knows she does this and won't stop her. I mean, they should admit her.
Yeah.
For psychiatric help or something.
She needs a psych evaluation.
But they won't. They just won't. So it's like, okay, if you won't do it, then, like, you need to go serve time. Because how else are we going to stop you?
Right.
Because she thinks she's invincible. It's just a mess. Anyways, I didn't mean to go down the whole rabbit
hole.
No,
I'm glad that you shared it. And honestly, here's the thing. Like, I think it's bullshit that women can speak up and talk about this stuff and men can't. Because it's just like what you told me earlier. Like, men are shamed for speaking about emotions, and they're told that they're weak and that they can't do that and they can't cry. Well, now men are being told that they can't be dealing with things that are, maybe not always something that men deal with, like women attacking men's character or women saying that they were sexually abused or whatever is happening. Like, that's stuff that can literally ruin you for the rest of your life. And just because you're a man, it's not okay. But like you said, if it was a woman in your shoes, this would be done already.
Yeah, and this is what frustrates me is, like, I've tried to tiptoe around this because there's gender at play. There's race at play.
Yeah.
I see it online. Mm-hmm. It's not everybody, but people are like, they can't fathom a white male being a victim. They just can't. Mm-mm. And, I'm aware that, white men have privilege to some degree. Absolutely. I mean, growing up, I've seen it. I've seen what my counterparts, my former teammates being a black male, I've seen a difference in the way that they were treated versus the way I was treated in circumstances. So I'm aware that as a white man, I have certain privileges. But on the flip side of it, sometimes it plays to your detriment.
Yeah.
In this case, it does. I'm a white male, and they're like, suck it up. Like, whatever. He's got so much going for him. Like, he'll get over it. He'll make it through. And it's like, why does my voice? It feels like my voice is being stifled. Mm-hmm. Why does my voice not matter? I'm supposed to just shoulder this because I'm a white man. Like, that's BS. Like, I'm a victim, and so just see it for what it is. Like, I a lot of times, again, it's like, and this is to a small scale. This doesn't bother me, but these double standards. It's like, I would be in medical sales, and this just happens all the time. The nurses be slapping my ass, pinching my ass, whatever. And I thought it was funny. But the reality is you reverse that scenario, you're getting hit with sexual assault.
That's right.
So, and whereas if I were to go to court on that, they'd be like, dude, whatever, she slapped your ass, big deal. And no one would take you seriously. Mm-hmm. And I even went to the police early on, and I was like, hey, like, this girl needs to be held accountable. She's committing these crimes. Oh, we can't do anything unless, she harms you. And I was like, well, she is harming me, my mental health. Oh, well, no, it has to be physical. So that's another dynamic, is like physical health and mental health are not seen the same way in the court system when it's like, what happens when someone takes their life, right? Then you can't harm them physically because there's no more physical harm to do to someone that's no longer here, right? But like, we don't prioritize mental health, and it's frustrating. And another thing too, I go to get a restraining order against her. They set a hearing for me, a week out. She finds out that I set a hearing because she gets notified. She goes and files a restraining order, gets it granted instantaneously. Why do you think that is?
Are you serious?
Yeah, why do you think that is? It's very simple, because I'm the male in the situation. She's a woman, and when a woman files against a man, they're afraid that the man might become violent, and so they instantly grant it, whereas they're not too concerned about the woman filing, the guy filing against the woman. I mean, how else do you justify that? I literally had more evidence that she was making stuff up. She had nothing against me, and she got hers instantly granted. Mm-hmm. It's backwards, and it's frustrating. I mean, again, I'm not. I was afraid to talk about it at first, but I'm not any longer. I'm like, you can't get mad at me all you want. It's just the reality of it. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
And I'm being unfairly treated. And hopefully, I think I have a really, really great judge in this instance, and I think justice will be served. But like the way that that a lot of people online are just turning a blind eye to this, I'm like, I know why you're turning a blind eye. It's because you don't want to see the reality for what it is.
Exactly. They want it to be the story that this girl is saying. They
want it so bad. All of those damn media outlets wanted it to be true. And the second it wasn't true, not a single one of them, I mean, maybe one or two, but of like the 90% of them, never followed up with a story.
Yeah.
Never, because it didn't matter at that point.
Right. Not important anymore.
One of them told me. I literally got on the phone with them. Why are you not writing this? They said, oh, it's not a sexy story. Mm-hmm. It was sexy when you were, possibly got somebody pregnant, but now it's just some random crazy girl.
Yeah.
Claiming she was pregnant when she
wasn't. Why would we tell the truth now?
Yeah,
because that's not exciting.
That's not exciting.
Yeah.
It's just she's just some crazy girl. I don't want to write that. And I was like, well, now it's all over Google me. It pops up. Clayton Echard pregnancy scandal. Why aren't we writing the truth at this point?
Right. And
because she just keeps claiming that she's still pregnant, or she was. She's not claiming she's still pregnant now, but she's claiming that it was real. I'm like, I talk to these, I've talked to networks. They're talking about documentaries, possibly. And a couple of them backed out. They're like, oh, well, it's still ongoing. I'm like, it's not ongoing. What do you mean? Well, we're still waiting to see if she's pregnant. I'm like, whether or not it's true. It's not true. I'm like, what evidence do you need? But because she's so adamant, they're like, we can't touch it until it's over. I'm like, will it ever be over? I hope they put an end to this.
It will end. It just doesn't feel like it right now.
But it's hard for me to believe it'll end when, like, I feel for the previous three guys, they never got a resolution. They never got a resolution. The last guy, basically the judge ruled that, like, hey, we know it's kind of just like, we've kind of just found a middle ground. You're not guilty. We're not really sure, so we're just going to drop the case. That's basically how they ruled for the last guy.
Wow.
He was in court for 3 years. He just got out of court.
But you're different because you're not backing down and you're not going to let it settle. And you, I would assume, have a lot more of a spotlight on you than these other people. And you're going to use it as an opportunity to create change.
Yeah, and I would also just say in this moment, I don't know when you're going to release this, but I need, like, anyone that's watching this, like, I'm begging, if you're someone that's been victimized by her, to please reach out to me, because we're only going to overcome this in numbers. Mm-hmm. I am trying I'm in contact with a few of the guys, but not all of them.
How do they know her name and who she is? Just based on your situation, or looking it up online?
They can look up my any court document. Or you can go on honestly Reddit. It's called Justice for Clayton.
So if you go on Reddit, look up Justice for Clayton, you can find out all her information.
There's like 4,000. Yeah, there's like, well, they redact it, but you can find the court documents. And
okay,
if you want to
so that's where
search
people
them,
can see and find out.
Yeah, you can find her name. Again, is it important that her name gets out there? Yes, eventually it is. But more than anything, there just needs to be eyes on this and attention, so that, like, something can be done about it.
No, absolutely.
Because what we need is the judge or the DA to step in and say, we're taking this over and you're not going to do this any longer. Mm-hmm. But they got to feel the pressure. I mean, Otherwise, if they don't feel it, they'll just drop it off. Again, I think I'm very optimistic about this judge. I think she's great. She's unbiased, but she's presenting a fair case, and she's just, like, saying, hey, like, if you were pregnant, show us the evidence, and she can't come back with anything. So we'll see. So June 10th feels like forever away, but I guess it's right around the corner. But I just need people to just honestly just share the story and get out there and push it and speak up about it. And, again, I don't want to take away attention from, like, what else is going around in the world, because there's a lot of stuff happening. Mm-hmm. But I just ask that, like, if somebody comes across this, maybe just share it. Because, again, once it's shared and once she's held accountable, I'm not going to sit here and talk about this for years to come. Like, I'm not trying to be a victim. I'm just trying to get this person to stop, and so that we can all move on with our lives.
Yeah.
But like right now, I'd be lying to you if I said I felt like I wasn't losing the battle some days. It feels like she's just wiggling her way out. And I'm like, how? Like, how do we keep it? Because people just get bored with it. That's still going on? And yeah, like you even said, I read something about it. Was she pregnant? I've been in the heat of this. I'm like, no, not like there's so much evidence against it. Like, but people don't know because they only read the few articles that first came out, and no one's writing a follow-up.
Visit us at anskinbeauty.com to shop all of our medical grade skincare.